and GSS Tungamaji, we noticed a little error that we thought it necessary to bring it to the general public. There was a mix-up in terms of the diction scores, right? So it was flipped. I mean, what Tungamaje scored was given to Maitama, and what Maitama scored was given to Tungamaje. That is, the 4 points for diction, which was said to have been given to Tungamaje, was actually supposed to be for Maitama, while the 2.5 that was awarded to Maitama was supposed to be the point for diction for Tungamaje. So having noticed that, the judges have quickly made a correction and have changed the result, the final result, which has made GSS Tungamaje to now have a total of 42 points instead of 43, while
43.5.
43 point, you see what I have here?
Yes, so they have 42 now as opposed to the 43.5
Exactly.
that was announced.
That was announced earlier.
Yes.
And GSS Maitama has 53.5 as opposed to 51.5 that was announced as their total score.
So it doesn't change it. It doesn't change in terms of
It's still,
who won
yeah,
and who did not. But it's important that we announce that on air.
that little
Because, we're doing the points-based system.
base system.
Yes.
So yes, we thought to point that out and apologize for any inconvenience that might score. But in the spirit of being transparent, we thought to bring that out to you. Okay, we have another amazing set of students seated here in the studio. And this time around, I mean, I'm sure their schools have clashed severally in the round of 32. Government Science Secondary School Tungamaje is going up against Government Science Secondary School Maitama again.
Shining Star College.
Shining Star College, sorry. Shining Star College. Government Science Secondary School Tungamaje is going up against Shining Star College Kubwa again. Welcome to them. Well, on the side of Shining Star College, we have Yusuf Mansoor, who is 14 years old, and he has Uche Jessica as his deputy debater. Welcome. And from Government Science Secondary School Tungamaje, we have Chikwere Nmasi Ruth, who is 15 years old, alongside with Godwin Omanibe Agatha. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Today, you will be debating on the topic, compulsory voting will strengthen Nigeria's democracy. Okay? Compulsory voting will strengthen Nigeria's democracy. So, you will be handed papers that will reveal what side of the debate you are on. Please open the paper handed to you and let me know what side you're on. Tungamaje, what does your paper say? Sorry, let me put your microphone on. Please say that again.
I beg to differ.
All right. Government Science Secondary School are begging to differ on the motion today, while Government Science Secondary School Maitama are proposing the motion. Why am I mixing that up? I'm really sorry. Shining Star College are proposing the motion, compulsory voting will strengthen Nigeria's democracy. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So, over to Sami now for the rules.
All right, let's talk rules, some of which you're already familiar with. In fact, I believe all of them you're familiar with. But just to remind you that you have 3 minutes for each of the stages. And I suppose you know what to do with each of the stages, right? It is a points-based debate, and we're taking that very seriously in this round of 16. If you scored 40 and below, automatically, even if you win your debate, you will be on a very, very thin line, possibly out of the competition. So you want to be able to make use of your 3 minutes in each of the stages, starting with the opening, where you get to put out all your points as clearly as possible. And then you move on to the rebuttal round, where you would have taken note of what your opponent put out in their opening, and then take each point and dismantle it as much as possible. The more of that you're able to do within the 3 minutes, the more it will count towards your score. Now, also take note that in your closing, as a matter of fact, throughout the debate, your style of debating will also contribute because you're going to be scoring over 30 in style. So make sure that it shines through in all of the stages, but especially the closing, because that is where you get to sort of fine tune your arguments. Whatever you didn't say, whatever you needed to add more to what you say, all of that comes through in the closing. It's also important that you're speaking clearly into the microphones. And as always, if you're mid-sentence, when the bell goes off, indicating the end of your 3 minutes, finish your sentence. That's it.
Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Having understood the point or the rules that have been given you this evening, I wish you all the best as you go head up against each other on the topic compulsory voting will strengthen Nigeria's democracy. Well, Government Science Secondary School, you are begging to differ, so we will start with Shining Star College that are proposing the motion. You have 3 minutes, and your time for your opening presentation starts now.
Imagine a river where a few drops of water decide its flow, leaving the rest of the water silent and unheard. A democracy where only a few voices are heard is just like that river, shallow, fragile, and easily diverted. Good day, Honorable Chairman, distinguished judges, co-debaters, and my ever-attentive audience. My name is Yusuf Mansoor. I'm a representative of Shining Star College, Kubwa, Abuja, and I'm here with my Deputy Speaker,
Uche Jessica.
We stand before you all today to support the motion which says compulsory voting will strengthen Nigeria's democracy.
Democracy is all about citizens participating in it. However, the biggest issue Nigeria is facing today is low voter turnout. When the small percentage of democracy, when the small percentage of the voters who registered for this decides who governs the country, democracy is weak and unrepresentative. Firstly, compulsory voting allows for voters' participation and legitimacy of the government. In many Nigerian elections, turnouts have been significantly low. In 2023, the presidential election had only 27% of the people registered, and those are the actual people who voted. If the remaining 70 did not vote, then that means we are causing a democratic chaos. Also, democracy reduces electoral manipulation. When these political godfathers or local elites buy voters with money or gifts because they actually know the amount of people who show up in the polling unit, compulsory voting will allow these bribery and corruption to stop.
Furthermore, compulsory voting encourages civic responsibility and rights. Democracy is not just a right, it is a responsibility. Citizens expect good leadership, security, and governance, but this all depends on the outcome of the elections. Compulsory voting encourages citizens should take political activity more seriously, be more informed about their candidates, and take part in national development. Compulsory voting also encourages citizens. Compulsory voting also ensures fair representation of social groups. In Nigeria, elections are often populated by politically active groups, leaving young people, rural dwellers, and marginalized communities to back away from the polls. With compulsory voting, many representatives from all these communities would be able to cast their votes, and as a result, their voices would be excluded. Thank you.
We're done. I think.
Okay. My system is glitching, so round of applause for you.
All right. Nice. Thank you so much. That was the opening presentation there of Shining Star College, Kubwa. Thank you so much. We will move over without wasting time to Tunga Maji. Yes, you are begging to differ, and you have 3 minutes for your opening presentation. I know you know that. So all the best with that as your time starts now.
Fellow Nigerians, democracy is meant to be a choice, not a chain. We are a nation of voices, yet not all are willing, ready, or heard. To force a vote is to force a hand, and forcing the people do not strengthen freedom, rather it strains it. Compulsory voting may promise participation, but in the end, it risks apathy, resentment, and a hollow democracy. Democracy dies when choice is chained, and no ballot force is ever a ballot free. Good afternoon, the chairman, panel of judges, timekeeper, co-debater, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chikwere Nmasi Ruth, a student of government science, country Kotugama di Abuja. Today, I beg to differ on the motion. Compulsory voting will strengthen Nigeria's democracy. According to Abraham Lincoln, democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and of the people. I support my stand with the following point. Firstly, freedom is choice. 63% of Nigerians prefer voluntarily voting than compulsory ones. According to Kofi Annan, democracy thrives on willing hand and not coerced mind. Secondly, uniform vote rises. Only 41% no government branches. Random ballots risk free representation. Third, cost skyrockets. 156 billion naira was spent in 2019 during the presidential election. Compulsory voting adds 20 to 30% in this budget. More voters, more station, more money. Fourth, fine bridge resentment. 5% of the people fined in Australia feel angered. Dr. Akin Oyebode said that I quote, compulsory voting breeds resentment among citizens. 5. Blind choices. 52% of Nigerians now depend on family and friends to vote for them during elections. When we force people to vote, we inflate meaningless results. 6. Election chaos. 2,500 irregularities in 2019. And you want to tell me to make voting compulsory? More voters equals more mismanagement. 7. Hurts the poor. 30% of Nigerians live in affluent poverty. They struggle to get to polling units. Fines hit the most vulnerable first. 8. Engagement does not equal turnout. Showing up does not simply mean we care. Because according to Belgium, despite the fact that they made voting compulsory, they still have a rising level of apathy. 9. Token democracy. 20 to 25% submit powered or plain ballot papers. Numbers can lie, but democracy is not a head count. 10. Kill civic culture. Canada gets 65% turnout voluntarily. So this simply, according to Dr. Akin Oyebode, according to Professor Chima Nwankwo, willing heart feeling sad are more voluntarily to vote than coerced mind.
In addition, more violence rates. With 150 deaths recorded in 2019 elections, compulsory voting could worsen clashes. Again, vote selling danger. INEC recorded 18% rise in electoral malpractice complaints. False voters are more easier to manipulate. Moving on, ignores root problems. 35% of voters abstain from voting due to distrust. Face corruption first, don't force attendance. Also, constitutional clashes. Section 39 guarantees freedom of choice. Thank you.
You should have landed. Are you okay? All right. Okay. So what we will be doing right now is to stand by for commercials. And when we come back, you have ample time to prepare for your rebuttal. So yes, we have commercials to take right away.
Gone are the days that solar inverters and renewable energy solutions were the exclusive preserve of the rich in the society. The advent of affordable and budget-friendly solar solutions, championed by the Green Cluster Solar Limited, has brought solar energy to the doorstep and reach of very many persons who would not have been able to afford it before now. Subscribe to affordable solar. Subscribe to our solar generators and power stations of various capacities. Visit our office at Suite FFC 20 and Suite FFC 21, first floor, Mall of Dubai, Gimbia Street, Area 11, Garki, Abuja, or call 0810-616-2016, 0810-616-2016. Green Cluster Solar Limited, the home of affordable solar solutions.
This Mother's Day, give the queen of your heart a gift of laughter. As the MC of the capital, in partnership with Transco Hilton, presents Generally Speaking with Chooks General Mother's Day Comedy Show. Performances by AY, Godons, Kenny Black, MC Casino, Owefi, MC Meaty, MC Fresh, Emerson Jama. Music by Timmy Dakolo. Chief Priest.
For their mind says CPR will never fail.
And DJ Fancy. Hosts King Tonto DK. Venue Transco Hilton Abuja. Date Mother's Day Sunday, March 15th by 6 p.m. Gate fee regular 10K, VIP 30K, silver.
is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
We tender for anywhere people they build. We be edX company. This Mother's Day, give the queen of your heart a gift of laughter. As the MC of the capital in partnership with Transco Hilton presents, generally speaking, with Chikwere General Mother's Day Comedy Show. Performances by AY, Godons, Kenny Black, MC Casino, Owefi, MC Liti, MC Fresh, Emerson Jama. Music by Timmy Dakolo. Chief Priest. And DJ Fancy. Hosts King Tonto DK. Venue Transco Hilton Abuja. Date Mother's Day Sunday, March 15th by 6 p.m. Gate fee regular 10k, VIP 30k, silver table of 10, 1 million naira, gold table of 10, 2 million naira, front row table of 10, 3 million naira. Tickets available online via www.chuksdgeneral.com. That is CHUKSDgeneral.com or call 0817-507-5000. Media support by Nigeria Info FM. It's generally speaking with Chikwere General.
A wannan Ramadan, madarar Kibo na ta iyalai a duk faɗin Najeriya gabatar da addu'o'i, tsantseni da haɗin kai.
Da lokacin buɗe baki zuwa sahur, ƙara wa kofin shayin ka da kofi, custard da kokon ka armashi tare da madarar Kibo.
A lokacin da masoya suka haɗu domin yin buɗe baki, a tabbata an yi amfani da Kibo non-dairy creamer domin ƙara armashin buɗe baki.
Da fatan Allah ya karɓa mana azumi da ibadunmu.
Kibo non-dairy creamer, bari wannan Ramadan ya kasance mai armashi.
Kibo creamer.
In the comfort of your home, on your way to work, in the midst of your daily activities, your Let's Talk station is here to keep you informed. Only on your number one for talk, 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's Talk.
Let's talk.
Welcome back to I Beg to Differ on your number one talk news and sports station, 95.1 Nigeria Info. Thank you for staying through with us this on the third set of debaters this evening as we host Government Science Secondary School Tungamaji going head up against Shining Star College, and they've been debating on compulsory voting will strengthen Nigeria's democracy. Well, we have taken the opening presentation and it's time for the rebuttals. I hope you're ready for this stage, right? Okay, so without wasting time, we will start with Shining Star College, Kubwa, for their rebuttal. You have 3 minutes to do so. Wishing you all the best.
With all protocols duly observed, I'm here to lay down all the claims my opponent said were true. Firstly, my opponent claimed that freedom is choice. Remember, voting is not just a right, but a civic responsibility. Just as citizens are compelled to obey laws and pay taxes, compulsory voting would ensure that more citizens participate in the election process of Nigeria. Also, my opponent said that there is ununiformity in the vote rights. Remember, civic education can address this. Government and civil authorities can work to create awareness campaigns on these ideas, enabling more people to be aware of the politics of the country. Also, my opponent said that it cost skyrockets, saying that the allegedly billions of naira that were lost in 2023. Remember, it was the leaders we chose through the minority that were put in place, not the majority. More than 70% of Nigeria's citizens remained silent during the last elections, and now you are coming here to say that we are the cause of the bad leadership. She also said that it bridges resentment. Policies can always be changed, just as the Nigerian proposed bill can reduce these fines. So you are trying to say that Nigeria can never change and citizens won't be able to vote for Nigeria, to vote for good leadership, I mean. Then he said blind choices, that citizens vote for their family members and that they don't have a choice. Remember, majority voting will also enable them to take politics more seriously and be more informed of their candidates, so they will be able to make wise decisions about who they cast their votes for.
You also made mention of compulsory voting bringing about political apathy. But let me tell you, if compulsory voting is encouraged, these apathetic citizens will find a reason to engage in these political systems during democracy. You also made mention of polling units being too far. But let's be clear. Yes, this issue still exists, but they are not a reason to abandon voting. This highlights need for reforms like electronic voting, more polling units, and security to make participation easier.
You also made mention of rigged elections. Remember, the highest case of exam malpractice is through vote buying and money buying, and money politics rather. If majority of the citizens vote, the politicians won't be able to buy enough votes because many of them are not as rich as Dangote or Elon Musk.
Thank you. Remember, you're allowed to land even if the bell goes. Just land with your point. You're not allowed to start a new point, but once you're on a point and the timer goes off, you can just finish off, and that would serve you much better. All right, thank you. That was Shining Star College with their rebuttals this evening. We will move back to Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaji, to have their own round at rebuttal. You have 3 minutes, and your time starts now.
The proposition has presented their claim, but presentation is not proof. Logic must stand taller than rhetoric. You said few voices are heard, and that's why we are not getting the leaders we want. In our country, Nigeria, our votes do they count. It doesn't change anything because the leaders, or rather people in power, the high and mighty, still choose to do what they want. You said democracy is all about voting. It's not just about voting, actually, because when we vote, we want them to give us what we want. Despite the fact, look at the 2023 elections. Look at the 2023 election. It was being rigged. I hope you're aware. You said low voter turnout. Actually, the problem is not actual. It's just that we can turn out if we want to. But first of all, fix the corruption in that sector. You talk about democratic chaos. That chaos comes from people that were killed during elections and not from we the citizens that refuse to vote.
You made mention of democracy reducing electoral manipulation. No, it increases it because most elections are rigged, and then you want me to sit here and believe that democracy reduces electoral manipulation.
Civic responsibility, like you said. When apathy flows in the bloodline, how do you expect youth to participate during elections? We are not getting what we want. So how do you want us to go out and cast our vote? You said, because I don't know how you cannot force me to do something and ensure I have peace of mind. Impossible. Compulsory voting will not strengthen Nigerians' democracy. Rather, it strains it, like I said in my introduction. It kills it and bring it down to the low level. In the country Nigeria where we live in, we are supposed to allow citizens to vote voluntarily because that's where we know actually what is in their mind. They can't vote, not because they want to, but because they are forced to. And how does that strengthen democracy? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know something. Democracy was supposed to be for the people, by the people, and of the people, but it no longer exists in our present Nigerian situation. Thank you.
All right. We have listened to Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaji, make their own rebuttal, and we're done with that phase. We are coming to the closing argument, and just to remind you that your strength and style of your closing argument is of utmost importance. This is a chance for you to make a clean finish so you can impress on the judges and most probably earn some very, very good points at this stage. So, I hope you're ready for the closing arguments. Are you ready for the closing arguments? I would love to have you guys respond to me when we ask questions, please. Are you ready? Yes. All right. So, we will start with you, Shining Star College, Kupwa. It is time for your closing argument, and I wish you all the best Remember, you have 3 minutes for that, and your time starts now.
In the rebuttal, my opponent said that our votes don't count. In the Nigeria 2023 elections, only 26.7% of registered voters actually voted. You keep talking about bad leadership, but leaders today were put in place by minority and not majority of the people. So who are we supposed to blame? The citizens or the government put in place by the minority?
Compulsory voting leads to high voter turnout. Take, for example, a country like Australia. They implemented this system right from 1924, and ever since then, they've had turnouts higher than 90%. If Nigeria can be like them, what is going to stop the rest of our people to vote? This will cancel out the democratic chaos. And you cannot claim that you do not choose the driver of your bus, and you don't have the right to scream when the driver drives into a ditch. If 20% or 30% of Nigerians are able and actively present, then what happens to 70%? I'm pretty sure they're at home thinking why the road is bumpy.
Voting is not just a right, but a civic responsibility. Compulsory voting reinforces democratic culture by making participation a shared responsibility. In Nigeria, democracy is weakened by chronic voters' apathy. Like I said earlier, in the statement of the Nigeria 2023 elections, that less than 30% of the registered voters voted, and this caused bad leadership, lack of insecurity, and bad governance. Also, in the recent FCT elections, in the Buhari Area Council, only 18,246 voted, was the highest vote count, which shows that more than 200% of registered voters refuse to participate in this election. And you keep talking about bad leadership. In a nation of over 200 million people, can we Nigerians really look ourselves in the mirror and call our democracy a government of the people when only a mere 25% of our population choose our leaders? Can you say a house can remain standing even when 3/4 of its foundation is missing?
And which is a better freedom? A rule that forces people to stay in the line for a few hours every 4 years, or a system that allows the silent majority let the small, proud, bought and paid minority to drive our nation into a ditch? Thank you.
All right. That was Shining Star College. We hear you. You've made your closing arguments, and we wish you all the best with that. We come over to Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaji, for your own closing arguments. Wishing you all the best as you take on your 3 minutes, and your time starts now.
Distinguished judges, ladies and gentlemen, democracy is powerful because it is free. Free to speak, free to choose, and yes, free to refuse. Because the moment participation is forced, democracy begins to lose its soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was supposed to be democracy for the people, by the people, and of the people. But it don't become democracy for the government, for the president, and those in the House of Representatives. Ladies and gentlemen, make we reason am this way. If person no get interest for election, if I don't have the right or if I don't want to vote, you cannot force me I do it I want to do. That's compulsion, not democracy.
Voting is supposed to be a decision of conscience. Something you do because you believe in the beauty of your future, not because the
We are supposed to be a nation farming in democratic garden, not engaging in a compulsory harvest. I couldn't donate my blood to my sister because apathy now flows in my bloodline. Forcing me to vote worsen it. I'm going to donate it to every Nigerian in this place because you cannot keep telling me the problem started from corruption and not we, the citizens. Back in the 1970s, walk with me to the primary school field of Tungamaji, where an election is being held. Now, this is the outcome. People were plenty. Then they knew that if I do this particular thing, it's going to work out for the best. But in our society today, it not just be like that.
Even Nelson Mandela reminded the world that freedom is the foundation of true democracy. Freedom, not force. A million forced votes cannot build democracy, but a small number of genuine voices can. Democracy no be something where government go force give you. It is something we as citizens are to choose freely. A forced vote is not a voice, but only a shadow of freedom.
When I keep complaining, the government know they try, government know they work. How you want make I take go cast my vote? They should start showing us that, yes, this is the reason why you're supposed to come out to vote, not forcing us into doing it. Imagine a bus driver who doesn't know his route. Will you force him to take you on a journey? Of course, no, because you know, both of you are going to get lost. That's the same thing that applies when we force people to vote during elections. The witch cried in the night, the child died in the morning. Who did not know that it was the witch that killed the child? If we implement compulsory voting today, then tomorrow our nation is going to be in chaos. We are going to be the ones to pay for what they did. You cannot force me to cast my vote because I won't until the system changes, until corruption stops, until the people start doing, until the government start doing what they are supposed to do. I, Chikwere Nmasi Ruth, even when I get to the age to vote, I won't until they give me what I want, until I see that the system is functioning. Ladies and gentlemen, in our society today, compulsory voting is like a dam without proper control. It holds water initially, but at the end, it spills it out because the foundation was not good. We should follow the way we want to do things because you cannot just keep forcing me to vote. In the year 2019 and 2023, people turned out for elections, but now 2026 is going to be different. We won't until the government change the system. Thank you.
Okay. Woo. Two things. Number one, those flashes of pidgin English, I am presuming that is just trying to mirror the average or the mindset of the Nigerian. You know how we communicate on a day-to-day basis and all. So, yeah, we had those. I'm just assuming. I mean, what do you think?
I'm just thinking, Olivia will have a fun time.
And then for a moment, Ruth just reminded me of those activists that are speaking very, very passionately about electoral reforms and why we need to fix things so that Nigeria will go in the right course. But thank you to Shining Star College and to Government Science Secondary School Tungamaje. You guys put up an amazing debate. Well done. All right, Olivia, I'm sure you have a couple of things to say. Our ears are wide open to hear you.
Okay. All right, let's start with Shining Star. So it is heard and not heard, all right? So when you say the word, you don't say hear like, when it's in past tense, you don't say hear the way you would say it when it's not in past tense. So it's not heard, it is heard, right? You say says, not sees. It is development and not development. It is opponent for you. Opponent and not opponent. It is enabling and not enabling. The E in the word enable takes the letter I sound. So it is enable and not enable. It is rebuttal and not rebuttal, like you said. That's all for Shining Star. Over to Tungamaji. Yes, you said forcing the vote do not strengthen freedom. So that would be does not strengthen freedom. Resentment is the word. The S takes the Z sound, so you don't say resentment. It is resentment. Election and not election. The letter E takes the first letter E takes the I sound, so you say election and not election. It is democratic and not democratic, like you kept repeating. Democratic and not democratic. It is democracy and not democracy. It is, you said election is being held at your school.
No.
Election is being held would be the correct thing to say. And for the pidgin, I'd say expression, right?
Yeah,
still affected.
Okay. So, thank you, Olivia. Thank you so much for those points corrected, and I hope you students are taking note of that. We await the final result sheets, but before then, as we always have been doing, we have to give our sponsors an opportunity to give us a message, and that's what we'll be taking right away.
Anywhere you go, anywhere you dey, Kira AI na the smarter way. No network stress, no payment delay, whether you dey traffic or busy all day. No need to type long messages, no need to call and explain. Just speak your transfer. Kira go handle am sharp. Snap the account number, boom, money don send. Talk your payment schedule, done in seconds, my friend. English or pidgin, easy. Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Kira sabi all. So fast, so simple, so secure. One voice command, transfer complete. To download, go to www.sendwithkira.com. Kira AI. Talk, snap, send, done.
We have our results here. And just like our sponsor said, our judges have sent it down very quickly, very securely, in the hands of the one and only billionaire, El Efizi, as he proceeds.
Before the results, do we have messages on social media?
Yes.
All right, I guess. Yes, let's take the messages and then we will read the results.
All right. Let's see. Caller from Lugbe here says, these girls are on fire. Kudos to Nigeria Info and kudos to the debaters. Well, we have 3 ladies and 1 guy in the studio. So, yes, all of them on fire indeed. Well done. There's a voice note here. Let's see if it's for this particular set of debates.
Good afternoon, Madam Swat. Thank you so much for all you do, you and Nigeria Info. This is a lovely program, very educative. Thank you so much. Please, I have a suggestion. My suggestion is that, the opening presentation of the debaters and their closing argument, they prepare for them from house. But the rebuttal is just what they just had, that they need to assimilate it, they need to think about it. Now, I would suggest that if Tungamaji make an opening presentation and Metama make her own opening presentation, now the rebuttal should start from Metama, not the Tungamaji that just listening to Metama, that just jot down his own point that is going to counter on. I don't know if you understand me. In order for both of them to have fairer time to rebuttal, somebody that just finished just now, you say he should report to again, and he just write the opponent argument to counter on. I don't know if I am correct on what I say, but I think it will give the first person that make a presentation an ample time to digest his opponent that just finished. Thank you, man.
Yes, we leave for some of this feedback. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I know that someone actually gave us a suggestion yesterday or so about giving them ample time, and that's what we have tried to do right from yesterday, almost immediately, to give them enough time. Now, the reason why we do that is because we always like to start with the side that is proposing, right? So that they propose their motion, the side that is begging to differ will take on, coming back to the side who has listened to the side begging to differ would now take on their rebuttal first. So I don't know how you actually put that out, but I think after the ones begging to differ, then we come back to those who are proposing before coming back to those who are deferring, So that gives them time. Then apart from that, we also take, messages from our sponsors and all of that. So I really don't understand if you get the style we have been running on, because that's how it is. Or do you understand what he's trying to say, Somi?
I think I do. And there was a time when we used to alternate. So if one school started maybe with the first stage, then by the second stage, the second school will start. I think that's where he was going with his suggestion. But it's definitely feedback that we can take back to the rest of the team. And we also want to we try to do it here in a way that will prepare our winners for Lagos. So if we do it differently from the way it's been done in Lagos, it might affect them when they get
exactly
there. But we'll definitely take all of that into consideration, and then we'll let you know.
Yes, towards probably next next edition of I Beg to Differ. Anyways, the results are here, and these are the moments we leave for. We will start with GSS Tungamaji, that is Government Science Secondary School, or GSSS Tungamaji. This is your result. For your presentation, you got or scored 5.5. For the rebuttal phase, you scored 6. For your closing score, you got 5 points. For your style, the total you made out of 30 points was 17. And then for your diction, you scored 2.5, giving you a total of 38. All right, thank you. Coming down to Shining Star College, Kubwa. These are your scores. For your presentation, you got 5 points. For your rebuttal, you made 4.5. For your closing score, you got 5 points. And your style, out of 30, you made 14. And diction, you made 3.5 out of 5 points, giving you a total of 32. Given the day to Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaji, 38. Wow. What happened today? I mean, Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaji, 38. That means we wouldn't have any school moving on to the next level because that's a new rule.
Yes. I guess it came down to the judges and just what they were able to do to impress them in terms of their points. I have to say, I didn't think we were going to get this low.
Honestly, I'm a bit shocked. That's why I'm asking what actually happened. But then, I mean, the scores have been made, and like we told you, there are rules that guide this round of 16, right? As long as you are not above 40, you cannot move. So neither Shining Star nor Tungamaji will be moving on to the next stage, and this is quite devastating.
Honestly, it is.
To say the least, it's quite devastating. So, well, I don't know what to say about this, but you need to go back and probably work with your coaches because we let you know about these rules right before the round of 16 started, and it's quite unfortunate that we've gotten to this point where neither Tungamaje nor Shining Star will move on to the next. So, this is where we end for both schools. Quite unfortunate.
Yes, indeed.
But thank you for your participation.
Yes. I have to say, though, just a few more comments just to let you know that, whatever you put in and whatever you came with to the table today, it was still appreciated. We got Max Mohammed Noor, giving it up to Chikwere Nmasi and the way she was debating. We've got Phillips Issa on YouTube as well saying, God bless you, I support you 100%. He didn't say who, but we see the message and thank you as well. Colored Victory also with the message here, giving it up to Shining Star. So even despite the low scores, there were people who were rooting for you and all of that. And Comrade Efodo has an interesting comment here.
All right.
It says, Adadiorama, I salute you and your crew members as you help to sharpen the young ones on debate. My assessment of their performance is that they're doing quite well. Having made the above observation, I wish to register my protest that all teachers teach our students is the concept of democracy is only the one defined by Abraham Lincoln. I think this is not proper or even correct. If you ask me, democracy, just like any other human concept, is culture bound. So concept democracy. As a social engineer, I know that we have Western brand of democracy and we have the Eastern brand of democracy. According to social engineer Comrade, he said, we Africans used to have our own brand of democracy, but other races seem to be allergic to hearing about it. May I now plead with our educators with a view to incorporating our African brand of democracy into literature for our students? I don't know, maybe this may have contributed to.
I feel the students are working with what you have in the curriculum. You can't go outside of the curriculum and start talking. Well, maybe by way of debate, it's okay to bring that in. But I guess the students and the teachers are working with what they have in the curriculum, and that's basically how they were coached. But thank you for that amazing, observation. Well, at this point in time, we would have to let you guys go. Do you have anything to say? I mean, you're looking very shocked. I mean, what's exactly on your mind? Let's talk. Do you have anything to say?
No, genuinely, for me.
Yes.
I thought that Tunde Maje were going to win because I honestly loved their points. They came with fire.
But they did win. They did win.
But they didn't make it to the next round. So that's for sure.
That's shocking for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm equally shocked, but it's the judges, and that's their assessment. That's why we keep emphasizing on what the what you need to work on to impress the judges. Because as long as you don't impress them, they don't feel impressed. I mean, there's nothing much that can be done about it,
But let's hear from Tunga
Ruth?
Maji. Ruth.
It's just that whatever happened, so you're cool.
All right. I like that. Okay. Ruth, you were part of our last set of debaters. You did us proud, and we are still expecting that you will dust yourself up and keep pushing until you get to that point where you win at the national level.
Indeed, you have a lot of people who are rooting for you. Stephen from Kuba had written in to say, glad to know that Ruth is back here for a comeback. So hopefully another comeback. Yes? Yes? We'll see how it
what
goes.
it is then?
Okay.
All right. You may take your leave now. Thank you so much. Shining Star College Kubwa and Government Science Secondary School Tunga Maji.
I guess it is what it is, especially as we go into the next couple of rounds. The competition gets even tougher, the stakes get even higher, and the content